Кожен школяр, як би не отруював йому мозок TikTok, знає, що стародавня європейська історія будується на двох культурах – грецькій та римській. І сьогодні я трошки хочу пояснити, як ці дві культури поєднуються в нашій сучасній Україні. 16 березня бомбардуванням орків був знищений драматичний театр в Маріуполі. Хоча після подій в Бучі та інших українських містах і селах цих потвор можна назвати хіба що гунами. Але сьогодні у нас трошки інші історичні паралелі. Маріуполь – це місто, в якому греки третій за чисельністю народ, і грецьку вважають своєю мовою приблизно 10% населення. А ще італійці обіцяють відбудувати драматичний театр. Ви тільки собі уявіть, українське місто об'єднує в собі Зевса та Юпітера, комедію dell'Arte та древньогрецькі пісні, в яких актори носили на собі фалічні символи та оспівували їх. Не знаходите нічого спільного? Маршрут для російського військового корабля або легендарна кричалка про пуйла. Мене звати Андрій Клименков, ви дивитесь «Кінофронт», і ми сьогодні поговоримо про те, що об'єднує. Наш гість – італійський театральний режисер, актор, викладач драми та театральних подій. Маттео Спіацці.
Стожари, мені наснаться ваші чари, та хочу стріти кохання наяву. Так чом стожари, ви знов заходите за хмари, коли я з вами і мрію, і живу.
Маттео, бонджорно.
Бонджорно, ело.
Маттео, давай одразу з гарячого почнемо. Ти був в Києві в перший день війни. Ти працював. Розкажи, як ти зміг вибратись, як ти зміг поїхати, що з тобою відбувалося? І хто був з тобою поруч?
So the situation it was that I was in Kiev on 24th because on 25th I supposed to have like premiere in Kiev National Operetta Theater. And fortunately, thanks to Italian embassy that provide to us, in 4 days I went out of the country. And during this period when I heard sirens and bombs, fortunately, I didn't see the bad stuff of the war, but I heard the war and we was very, also scared about, but somehow some emotional part was closed. And after it happens that, this emotional part was reopened when I was in the border zone with Moldova. And it was not because I was safe, but it was a feel of guiltiness because a lot of friends, a lot of actors, a lot of people that is not anymore my colleague, but are really close friends, people that I really love, was still in Ukraine. Mm-hmm. And that's why when I was in the flight from Romania, I started to grow this project stage for Ukraine to help Ukrainian students from Academy of Dramatic Arts. Now I'm in Verona, and we are hosting around 45 students. There are 2 behind of me, Angelina and Max, that was studying in Kiev, and now they are here, and we will provide to them to continue to study. That's why I'm working in the city center, because we are going to do some documents for them. So it's 1 month that we are here, me and my colleagues, to try to help as more Ukrainian as is it possible. And now we was in an official meeting because community of this place signed an official agreement to help Ukrainian people. So here in Italy, we are trying to help people that really needs, and mostly here arrive women with children. So, and it's really important to support these people because everybody are shocked about what is happening in Bucha. And we really want that this war will end somehow. And by the way, if we want to speak about art, here is our little Colosseum. It's from Roman's period. I'm in the very city center. So yeah, it's very hard, but we are trying to do really our best because we think that it's really important to give this kind of support. And for me, like a director, to try to give like very specific support to Ukrainian artists, especially students now, but we are providing to maybe to create some project also for artists, but it's quite complicated now with the situation, but we are working constantly on that.
Дякую. Дякую. Скажи, будь ласка, як себе почувають українці там у тебе? Я знаю, що ти людина дуже творча в усіх питаннях і вмієш приймати в Україні, вмієш приймати в Італії гостей.
You know, it's very weird somehow because they are in a safe place here, but everybody of them feel guilty to be here. And it's really strange, but it's quite understandable because all them family, the friends are in uncomfortable situation. So we have some students that come from Mariupol and they don't have any news from them family. And we have like another guy that is from Donbass and he don't have any information of this father for 1 month and is missing now. And you know, the family of them is blocked in one city that is occupied by Russian, and there is this mother with the 2 children, and she is crying every day. So it's very difficult for people that are here to think I'm safe, because we have also people that are minor age, also Angelina and Max, you know, and the family is there. So the situation is very hard, I think, for them. But we are trying to give them again, I don't know if is it possible, the feeling of the future, because I think that the war stopped this feeling of the future, and there are a lot of people there, because I'm also trying to be constantly in contact with people that are in Ukraine, my friends, my colleagues, and the war really destroyed not only the house but also the mental health of the people, and that is really, really terrible. So we are trying to make them happy, but it's not an easy job somehow. Because, you know, I saw sometimes that they are smiling, but in some moment they are blocked and I see that the eyes is not here. They are looking what is happening there. So it's not easy also to be here, but, you know, we think that also it's important to give them the possibilities to continue their life, because when the war will stop, we will help to rebuild the country, the art, and also I think that the theater here have a really important meaning somehow, because we need also to communicate not only with the documentary, go more deeper. And our art theater is really helpful also to make people understand what is happening in another level. And that's why also now with the students here, we have a lot of meeting with guys inside of the school, because we think that it's really important also to communicate to the youngster what is happening, not through the television, but through the testimony. And they are really they really want to communicate that, because they think that this is the meaning why they are here. Just to say, this is not like, you know, an image from the television that you can say, maybe it's true, maybe it's not, maybe it's a propaganda. No, this is our story, and this story is true. And in that way, and somehow it's like the theater, no? It's the meeting between people, it's a meeting of humanity. And this is really important because the people have the feeling of the situation in a very different way. And I saw the eyes of our student that was somehow shocked about that. And they will remember for all them life this testimony. And they see that the war is something different. It's not about the picture. Because here every day in the television, we saw the picture from the war. So sometimes you have the feeling that it's like, you know, you feel that you are used to that. But with these, it's something that will stay inside of the heart of the people. So it's really important. I think that it's really important that artists use a different kind of weapon that is our art. And that's why we create also this project, not only for Ukrainian, but also for us, for European. But somehow, you know, I'm not Ukrainian, but I feel Ukrainian because I was working so much there. So for me, it's not the Ukrainian war; it's also my war. So I really have to tell that, you know, this is something that involved me like really personally, and that's why also I'm trying to do and to help as more as it possible.
Матео, ну ти маєш велике українське серце в Італії. Я пам'ятаю, як ми з тобою бачились на твоїх прем'єрах в Києві. Я пам'ятаю, який ти був щасливий, захоплений, вражений. Тобі подобалось працювати з нашими акторами.
You know, I started working here in Kiev in 2019, and it was somehow love from the first moment. And for me, it's very weird because, you know, I was in this last period also with this war pressure. I was thinking, come on, Kiev is a wonderful city, and I really deep in contact with the Ukrainian artists, and maybe I can move here. I was thinking to move in Kiev, you know, and because really I'm working in a lot of countries, but I never had the feeling like in Kiev to be at home somehow. And the connection with the artists, it was so deep, and I really like to work with Ukrainian artists because I think that really the level of the actors, the level also of the Ukrainian theater is really high. So I feel the potential in that, especially in left bank theater. For me, really, I feel part of this family. So I can say really that for me it was like a marriage with Ukrainian theater, and the people there. I was working like in perfectly synchrony with them, and I think that people that saw my performances there can understand that, you know, there was something more than only work. You know, it was really something that is connected with love. That's why I cannot say that they are my colleague. I really say that they start to be like closer human to me. That's why I love so much Ukrainian theater and Kiev and Ukrainian country.
Матео, в тому, що ми переможемо, я думаю, ти не сумніваєшся. І я дуже хочу дізнатися у тебе, що, я думаю, те, що ти хочеш поставити в Києві, вже в тобі зароджується. Розкажи про це, про свої думки.
I can say that, you know, for me it's very weird to think that the scenography of the show that I have to do is still in operetta theater, because we're supposed to have a premiere, and scenography of my performance is there. So at first I want to do my premiere. So, you know, in national television here, we had like some interview, and they say, unfortunately, the show is canceled. And I was very, you know, what? No, it's not canceled. We are just waiting to do, no, the performance. So really, for me, the feeling is that I want to do this premiere at first. And after, of course, we were speaking a lot to have like another premiere in Left Bank Theater and different kind of collaboration. And also we are programming to do like an exhibition. So, you know, I'm just waiting that Ukrainian victory and after to come back and work again. So really, it's just about waiting.
Слава Україні! Слава
Героям слава!
Італії! Матео, я пам'ятаю, як ти співав пісню «Стажари» на сцені Київського драматичного театру драми і комедії.
Зорепад є зелен сад, і ми були у парі. Yes.
Ти український супергерой сьогодні.
You know, I start to learn another song that I remember only the first words, but you know probably. And it's Червона калина. And okay, you know, I'm start to learn also this song. And we was singing here, not me, but the students. And you know, when they are singing here, because we did some concert just to collect money for our project, but not only, to send help, humanitarian help, like medicaments and the other stuff through an association that now, in this moment, this association is going to Ivano-Frankivsk to give a special help. And they are from Verona. With 5-1, they are going to this place because, you know, there is a lot of stuff to do. and we are doing some concerts, some stuff, and our students were singing, and it was really amazing because there was like inside of this song some Ukrainian soul, and I'm really happy that here everybody was like amazed about this, you know, powerful song that gives somehow like a piece of Ukrainian soul, and it's something like really good.
Що ти відчув в перші хвилини, коли дізнався про те, що скинули бомбу на Маріупольський драмтеатр?
You know, for me, it's unbelievable at first because, you know, I don't know which kind of human can put a bomb in a place where there was very clean sign in front and back of the theater about children. That's, for me, it's really like, really unhuman at first. And to the other side, I was thinking that, you know, theater is the place where, you know, it's not only a place, it's a symbolic place. So it's a place where the humanity meets themselves on the stage and see, and is a cultural place. So it's a symbol of the humanity. So bombing a theater, it means that you don't have respect for the humanity. You don't have respect about also what is the highest representation of the human, you know, that is the art, you know. So somehow for me, it was like a very big shock. But you know that Italian Ministry of Culture, and I was really proud of my country. They say that when the war will end, they will provide to rebuild the theater. So this is a news that for me, it makes me really proud to be Italian, because I think that they really understand what does it mean. And you know, after the Second World War in Milano, one of the first projects that they start, it was like they rebuilding the house, the stuff, but also it was to start to rebuild the theater. Because the theater is really not only, you know, a place where you have fun in the night, just, okay, I go to the pub or I go to the theater, but it's really the place where the humanity can rebuild them soul somehow. And our art, especially in this moment, is totally important. And for me, I'm shocked that now in this condition, I start to understand why Brecht was writing this piece, why Heiner Müller, why, you know, a lot of theater speak about war also, no? It takes totally another meaning. So, and if you ever read the piece of Brecht that is called Arturo Ui, the irresistible, I don't know the translation, but it's about this gangster in Chicago that
I know.
this mafia.
Я грав
you know,
в цій виставі. Yes,
and you know,
yes.
it was because of Hitler in this period, and it's totally the same now with Putin. So you see that probably Putin didn't go to the theater so often. Otherwise, he will understand and he will see himself inside of this character, you know.
Ти випускник Ніко Пеппи. Ти працював і працюєш в багатьох країнах Європи і не тільки. І також ти працював в Росії. І скажи, от зараз, що з тобою відбувається? Що в тобі змінюється під час цієї війни? От в плані творчості, в плані думок? Що ти хочеш тепер говорити через свої роботи?
You know, here with the students, now we are sending them to different Academy of Dramatic Arts in north of Italy, but with them we want to meet again in summer and create a performance based on Troiane, not to speak about Troia, but to speak about Kiev, about Ukraine, because most of them are women like Troiane, but you know, we want to communicate in a different way what is happening. So now for me, I think that it will be really important to use my art and my heart also to, you know, try to communicate in a very deeply way this tragedy somehow, but not to give a solution, but to open a lot of questions. Why is it possible a war again now in this way in Europe? How is it possible that this unhuman stuff is happening now. This is, the main question that is in my mind. And of course, when I will work, I will put this question in my work. Not in a documentary way, not like in the television, not to give the news that unfortunately everybody knew, but just to keep this very deep human question that it maybe cannot be solved, but we need to ask to us this question. How is it possible?
Матео, у нас дуже жахливий ворог, їх називають орками, гунами, ким завгодно. Скажи, як ти вважаєш, чи можна їх чимось зупинити, окрім як надавати попиці у війні?
I don't have an answer for that, because for me it's totally clear that Ukraine is really doing some heroical work also for Europe. You are not defending only you are defending democracy and freedom, and so for me, really, I'm really grateful about Ukrainian soldier. I understand that now for NATO here and European Union is very difficult to say, okay, let's join this war, because somehow it's not so simple. It's not so easy. So really, I don't know if I have an answer for that. And but I really believe in the victory of Ukraine, because somehow, I don't know. And I'm sorry, I don't have an answer, and I'm still shocked about what we can do. And there's a really big question also here. What is it possible to do? How? And what I have in my power now is to help and to try to use my heart in that way. That is, maybe it's a little drop in the sea, but the sea is made by a lot of drops, and every drop is important to make the sea.
Є така думка, що тепер Україні прийдеться жити як Ізраїлю, тобто в постійному стані можливості атаки на нашу країну. Ти мене розумієш, я думаю.
I really hope no. I really hope that something changed. But the main problem, is that I have the feeling that in this unhumanity, somehow Putin is so fragile that cannot lose. So, because really, I think that human life and humanity and peace is really not important to him. He don't care. So, I really hope that this situation will not happen, because it will be like very painful, and it will be longer war, and this is something like really that we need to avoid. But to the other side, we really need to wait, or we really, I don't know, because if there was a breath of humanity in this guy, in Putin, I think that it could stop like immediately.
Найсвітліша твоя думка, твоє найсвітліше бажання, яке ти хочеш втілити після перемоги, потрапивши в Київ і зустрівши всіх, кого ти любиш.
This is just my brightest dream, come back to Ukraine and hug my friend, hope that everybody are safe and to work together, that's really and maybe to move to Kiev,
Скажи своє, те, що ти відчуваєш, своє побажання на сьогоднішній день для українських людей.
Be strong and be human. That is our very big power that Russians in this moment don't have. Stay human, because yes, it's something that really will win in any case.
Скажи, будь ласка, а яким ти бачиш майбутнє українського театру? І якщо ти, наприклад, переїдеш в Київ і в Україну, то як би ти хотів його розвивати, в якому напрямку?
As I told before, I really love Ukrainian theater and I really love Ukrainian artists. So I really want to come back. And what I would love to do now is not totally clear, because every time that I start a new performance, I have some ideas, but I really work with the artist in the moment. So I think that I will come with a lot of questions, and I want to listen the question of the artist, what they want to say, because I'm a director, but I don't build the show usually from my idea, but I really give some question and I start to work with the actor about what they would love also to communicate. So I think that my first new job will start from a meeting with them. And from that, we will understand what is necessary to say with our performance. For me, from my side, but also for them, from them.
У тебе є дуже потужний інструмент. Ти хороший викладач, професійний, і саме цим ти користуєшся завжди. І одна з твоїх якостей головних те, що ти слухаєш актора, чуєш актора.
Yes, for me, it's the base of the work. I'm graduated like actor, not like a director. So I know what does it mean to be an actor. And I really like when I put the actor in the condition to do something that they want to do. And this is, it's not just a philosophy, but also it's something like concrete, because when I do the performance, usually I don't stay in the country because I travel a lot. So for me, it's really important that the actors become the ambassador of the meaning of the performance. And if they have the feeling that the performance is not the performance of this Italian director that it comes for so far, but it's our performance, I'm sure that the performance will survive and will stay on the stage. That's why for me, it's really important to do something that, Ukrainian theater needs.
Я знаю, що ти ще актор. І в мене є тепер побажання побачитися з тобою на знімальному майданчику в якості актора.
Yes, I stopped to work like an actor because I'm traveling too much, so it's not possible to do the show more than 2 or 3 times. But I really like to be like actor in the performance. Now the work, it lead me in the direction to go more deeper in the pedagogy and in the and to study to be better theater director. So that's why I put my work in that. But who knows? Maybe you will see me when I will learn enough Ukrainian language. But it's really difficult, for an Italian to learn Ukrainian grammar. So I really need a good teacher and maybe some years. But after, maybe I can also play in Ukrainian. Who knows? Or maybe like in my performance, without words. That would be easier.
Я хочу, щоб ти познайомив нас зі своєю, скажімо, улюбленою роботою, твоєю творчою, яку ти поставив в Італії і, скажімо, в Європі.
No, it's quite funny because I don't work too much in Italy because I usually work in foreign country. So I can tell you one of my favorite work that I did several years ago. Here he's in Minsk and is Pension Belvedere. Is one of my favorite because it was the first time that I worked with the full mask, and it speak about this pension. It's called Pension Belvedere, a place where there are all the guys in this place, in this pension, and they supposed to be there to die. But it's not a performance that speak about death, but it's a performance that speak about the importance of the life, to live your life. And it's very simple somehow, but it's very deep, and a lot of people come to see this performance more and more. and it's all about to be human. It's always the same point for me, you know. And in this performance also, you know, you have different character that in some moment remember than life, but also if they are very old, they are still alive and they want to live as more as they can. So it's really a performance that speak about how is important our life, how is important to live, how is important to do the good stuff when you are alive.
А найважливіше, чому ти навчився у Пепе?
From my academy, you know, when I was there, I was very young, and I didn't know what theater was. I don't even saw before one performance with mask. So I start to understand that, oh, you can use the mask in theater. That's quite interesting. And I was very fascinated of that. And every, you know, if I start my profession and if I so deep with mask theater, but not only, also with physical theater, it's because of this academy. But also, you know, I really learned what does it mean to be inside of a theatrical community. And I can tell you also in my personal life, it was the moment when I start to understand that theater was really my place. Very hard job, not easy, like in a human part, but in this academy, I understood that theater is a place where I want to be, and it's a place where I feel alive. And you know, my profession, it gave me so much opportunity to meet people, to travel around the world. So, and everything was starting from there. So a lot, it was the beginning. And you know, in this academy, and after I think like 20 of April, some Ukrainian students will go to study there. 5 or 6 Ukrainian students will go there to study. And that's really great, you know, because they give us also them the possibilities to help Ukrainian students. So I'm really grateful to my academy also because of that.
Як зараз зміниться відношення Італії до України? От, як ти думаєш, от особисто? І що б ти хотів, власне, щоб змінилося?
I want to say that I was really surprised in a good way because the Italian community now is really open to help Ukraine. And a lot of people here are really like understanding what is happening. And I was before like in this official meeting where the municipality signed an agreement to help people. And not only here, but also to send like some helping directly inside of the country. And this is a really good sign. So I'm really happy of that. There is something funny that before nobody knew about, you know, Lviv, that we call Leopoli, and say, where is Lviv? Now everybody knew where is Lviv. Everybody knew where is Odessa, Kiev, and Mariupol, you know. So somehow I have the feeling that they start to understand also the geography of the country, but also they start to understand that Ukrainian people are really like, you know, brave people. They are really strong people. And also we are trying to make them understand that the Ukrainian culture is so incredible, rich and great. And I think that now there is also, you know, from this horrible stuff, a great opportunity to understand how great is your country. I really want to say, you know, your country, but every time that I say your country, I feel like bad because, you know, somehow, as I told you before, I'm not Ukrainian, but I feel.
Я зрозумів тебе. Да. Матео, ще одне питання. Я думаю, останнє. Ти працював в Австрії, в Білорусі, в Естонії. Ти працював навіть в Еквадорі і інших країнах. Скажи, хотів би ти розповісти своїми новими роботами, наприклад, в тому ж Еквадорі, українську історію, яка відбувається зараз?
You know, my dream is to build with Ukrainian artists a performance here that is speaking about what is happening, as I told you before, and to go in these countries. But not only me, because I think that is really important that Ukrainian artists can tell this story, no, by themselves. So I'm really like involved in building this performance, but mostly to help them, to help the Ukrainian artists to build them. Because I really think that it's really important that international community feel this what is happening now with some special project. Because television, journal, it give like only news and information, and we will forget, and we will not keep like so strong this. But theater, somehow it's a paradox, because theater happen in this moment and somehow after disappear. And when it's finished and it will never be again. But there is the paradox is that when you see a performance that it gives you the right question, it's still inside of you. And so somehow theater disappear, but it continues to be alive inside of the consciousness of the people that are touched by the performance. So I really believe in this power, but of course I cannot do only by myself. I really need to do with some Ukrainian artists and with cooperation of Ukrainian artists. That's why, yes, I really would love to go in Ecuador to speak about what is happening, but with Ukrainian theater, with Ukrainian artists. And I think that, that's really important, not only for Ukrainian, but really also for international community.
Ми тобі дякуємо за те, що знайшов час. Дякуємо тобі за всю допомогу, яку ти робиш для України, за акторів, яких зараз в складний час приймаєш. І дякуємо за твою творчість. Нехай в тебе все виходить, і дуже чекаємо на тебе в Києві після перемоги.
Слава Україні!
В якому би місті світу ви не були, об'єднуйтесь так, як сьогодні об'єднується увесь світ навколо нашої України. До зустрічі на кінофронті.